They were the true giants of creation, being so vast that the earth itself seemed to tremble beneath their steps. For millions of years they ruled every plain, every forest, every horizon. Yet today, their bones are the only echoes that remain of a world built on unimaginable scale. But who were they, the true titans of prehistory? And what forces shaped creatures so large that even mountains seemed small beside them? Long before humans measured time, when continents were still drifting across the newborn oceans, the age of giants began. Warm air thick with oxygen, endless fern forests, and the rise of colossal herbivores that would forever redefine life's limits. Among them stood the first contenders for the crown of size, the sauropods. Long-necked architects of ancient skies, their bodies stretched like living bridges between Earth and the clouds. Each footstep left craters in the mud. Each breath shook the trees around them. The first of these behemoths was Argentinosaurus, the largest known land animal to ever exist. Found in the dry plains of Patagonia, its fossilized bones tell of a creature more than 35 meters long and weighing nearly 80 tons, the mass of a dozen elephants. Its neck alone was longer than a city bus. Its heart, larger than a human chest, had to pump blood high into the heavens to feed its towering head. But the true wonder was not its size. It was its grace. Despite its impossible weight, Argentinosaurus moved with the slow rhythm of a living continent, its footsteps echoing across swamps and forests filled with smaller dinosaurs who scattered at its passing. And it was not alone. Across the planet, evolution was sculpting other giants. In Africa, Paleontology, the tidal giant, ruled the ancient coasts of Egypt. It stretched almost the same length as Argentinosaurus, but its bones were thicker, built to wade through deltas and mangrove swamps where predators lurked in the shadows. In the heart of what is now North America, another monster emerged, Alamosaurus. Its fossils were found among the last dinosaurs to ever live before the Great Extinction. It was the final breath of the Sauropod dynasty, towering high as a 6-story building, feeding from treetops no other creature could reach. If you love uncovering the secrets buried in time, subscribe for more journeys like this one. There are still ancient worlds waiting to be rediscovered. Yet even these giants faced rivals. Across the oceans, in the lands that would one day form Asia, the titans kept rising. There, Dreadnoughtus appeared, named for its defiance, fear nothing. With bones almost perfectly preserved, scientists could finally glimpse the true architecture of these colossi. Neck vertebrae the size of barrels, limbs as thick as columns, tails that could sweep predators aside like blades of living thunder. Still, the question remained, how could life grow so vast? What engine of nature allowed muscles, lungs, and bones to scale beyond imagination? The answer lay in balance, an ecosystem built to sustain enormity. Earth's climate was warm, plants grew year-round, and air carried more oxygen than today. Food was abundant, predators fewer, and time was endless. For millions of years, size itself became a weapon, a shield against hunger, fear, and extinction. But among all these giants, one stood apart, a creature so immense that even scientists debate its true proportions. Deep in the desert of Argentina, scattered bones whispered a name that would stir awe and doubt alike. Patagotitan majorum. It may have reached 37 meters in length, its weight surpassing 70 tons. To imagine it alive is to picture a landscape moving, skin like stone, breath like wind, shadow like twilight. Yet even the greatest titans were bound by fate. The earth was changing. Forests shrank, climates shifted, and the world that once nurtured giants began to fade. But the story of size, of power and endurance, was not over. Because in another corner of the prehistoric world, something even larger might have walked the earth. But the earth still had one last secret to reveal. In the sunburned plains of what is now Tanzania, a ghost rose from the stone, Bruhathkayosaurus, the massive-bodied lizard. For decades, its bones were a mystery, lost to time and erosion. Some believed it was misidentified. Others whispered that if the measurements were true, it would have dwarfed even Argentinosaurus. Imagine a creature nearly 40 meters long, heavier than a fully loaded passenger jet. Its bones so dense they could crush under their own weight, if not perfectly balanced by nature, as own engineering. Air-filled chambers, lightweight vertebrae, and vast lungs that worked like bellows. This was life at its very limit, the pinnacle of what evolution could achieve before gravity itself became the enemy. But even titans are not eternal. As the continents split apart, ancient ecosystems fractured. The lush, endless forests that once fed the giants began to dry. New predators evolved, faster, smarter, hungrier. And slowly, the giants vanished into stone. For a time, their reign seemed over. But far to the north, in the Badlands of Mongolia, paleontologists uncovered the shattered remains of another monster, Bruhathkayosaurus, a creature so vast and little known that it might still rival the great southern sauropods. Its bones hinted at something unexpected, not just size, but adaptation. A lighter frame, longer neck, and a tail designed for balance, not brute force. It was evolution fine-tuning perfection. Each discovery pushed the boundaries further. Every fossil revealed new secrets about how life endured and evolved at such impossible scale. And yet one question still burned beneath every dig site. Have we truly found the biggest of them all? Because even now, deep in the deserts of South America, fragments of bones emerge from rock that rewrite everything we thought we knew. Some scientists speak of Prehistoric, another giant of Patagonia, whose vertebrae were so massive that a single one could fill the back of a truck. Its neck may have stretched over 11 meters, carrying a head the size of a car. It is humbling to imagine such creatures walking through a world of ferns and thunder, their hearts beating like drums of eternity. A single stride could cross rivers. A single breath could fog the air like morning mist. And still, we are left wondering, how did they live day to day? How did they find enough food, enough space, enough time? To survive, these titans must have lived slow, almost eternal lives. Their hearts beat fewer times each minute. Their growth never truly stopped. Each year, layer upon layer of bone recorded the rhythm of ancient Earth. Seasons of drought, years of plenty. The silent rise and fall of empires no human eye ever saw. If this story is pulling you in, subscribe now. There are many more worlds to uncover together. Yet for all their glory, the giants carried a quiet truth within them. That even the strongest forms of life are fleeting. When the world shifted, when volcanic skies dimmed the sun and seasons turned unpredictable, even the largest hearts could not outlast time. But in their fall, they left behind the ultimate gift, fossils, fragments of memory that let us see the unseeable. With every new discovery, we resurrect a piece of their lost world. And as scientists brush away the dust of eons, one realization grows clearer with each passing year. Size alone was never their true legacy, because even when the giants fell, life found a way to rise again, smaller, faster, smarter. The age of behemoths gave way to a new kind of survivor. But deep beneath the layers of rock and time, the earth still whispers of one final colossus, a creature that might eclipse them all. And this is where the greatest mystery begins. In the remote plains of Patagonia, a team of paleontologists unearthed bones unlike any they had ever seen. They were enormous, rib fragments longer than a man, vertebrae wide as dinner tables, and a femur so colossal it took 3 people to lift. At first, they thought it was just another giant. But as excavation continued, the skeleton revealed something extraordinary. Its proportions were beyond expectation, balanced, efficient, and impossibly vast. The team had uncovered the remains of Sauropods fragilimus, the delicate giant. Though the original bones discovered in the 19th century were lost to time, the drawings and records remain, describing a vertebra over 2.4 meters tall. If accurate, this creature could have reached a staggering 50 meters in length. That's longer than 2 blue whales lined end to end. Skeptics question the numbers, and rightly so. Could any land animal truly grow that large without collapsing under its own weight? But recent discoveries suggest it might not be impossible. Evolution had already shown its mastery of balance: hollow bones, immense hearts, air sacs woven through the skeleton like the lungs of a cathedral. Nature had built a living skyscraper, a breathing monument to the power of life itself. And so, Argentinosaurus became more than just a name. It became a symbol, a ghost at the edge of possibility, reminding us how little we truly know about the deep past. Across the world, these bones tell the same story, of strength born from adaptation, of ecosystems so lush that giants could roam unchallenged, and of a planet that once dreamed in scales beyond imagination. We walk the same earth they once ruled. Beneath our cities lie the remnants of their kingdoms. Beneath our feet, their shadows stretch still, silent, immense, eternal. When we uncover their fossils, we are not just studying bones, we are touching the edges of time. Each fragment is a heartbeat from a world before memory, a whisper from an age when Earth was young and alive with titans. And perhaps that is why their story matters. Because even though they vanished 66 million years ago, their legacy remains. In every bird that takes flight, in every mountain that hides their bones, in every human heart that still looks up in wonder at the ancient sky. For the giants never truly died, they simply changed form. Their descendants still walk among us, lighter, smaller, faster, but carrying the same spirit that once shook the ground. When we look at them, we glimpse eternity. A reminder that greatness is not measured in size, but in endurance. So the next time you hear the beating wings of a bird, remember the thunder of the giants that came before, the same rhythm, the same song, the same endless cycle of life and rebirth. Because once, the world belonged to them, the 7 biggest dinosaurs that ever walked the earth. And though their bones now rest in silence, their story will never fade. For the earth remembers.